good, guys? This is Zeus and you're watching Zeus Views, and today's episode is going to be a Q&A. I'm going to be taking questions and different topics, different stuff that you guys want me to talk about and discuss on the show. A lot of you guys previously sent in your questions and we're going to get into everything that you guys wanted to talk about. So if you guys have any more questions, you can send it in through the live. Hope everybody been staying warm. It's been like super cold. Y'all know like how the weather and everything is. It's been like a little task getting through Chicago. This is a question from Winnie Smith. How to break bad habits. How to break bad habits. Me personally, I think everything is mental. Everything is mental, no matter what it is, you feel me? Smoking, for instance, and I'll use this as like a more personal example because this is something that I struggle with. I hate smoking. It's like a habit at this point. Like at first I was telling myself like it's not a habit, I'm not addicted. Me and my mom going back and forth. She's like, you're addicted. And I'm just like, no, I just want to do this. I was telling myself that it was not an addiction. I started to think about it and I started to realize like, this is an addiction. Like this is something that you're doing that isn't beneficial to you. This is something that you're doing that really does not positively impact you at all. So why are you doing it? Why are you constantly engaging and indulging in it? You know, so at that point I realized that it was an addiction, and now to break a bad habit, I think it's all mental. You have to really tell yourself like, no, you cannot do this, even if it's like a little bit, even if you can do it and you know that you're gonna get away with it. Like if you know that no one else is watching you, you still have to be mentally strong. You have to have that self-discipline to actually break habits. So that's my advice on that. I'm still in the process of working on that currently, so I'm not an expert. Next question, do's and don'ts for Photoshop. You should just basically play around with Photoshop. You can go on YouTube and look up some tutorials if you want to like see something specific. The way I learned through Photoshop is basically just troubleshooting and doing like test runs. Like I didn't learn anything that I use in Photoshop today in school. Fun fact. A lot of people ask me like, what did I learn in school? And it's like, I really didn't learn anything with Photoshop in school. So the real stuff comes from what you discover on your own. I ain't even gonna stunt. With school, we touched on this in our previous conversation. School just isn't for everybody. Like if you're an entrepreneur, you have your own business, you have your own stuff that you wanna accomplish. School may not be in that mix for everybody. And I say this because building a brand and building a career takes time. It actually takes time and a lot of energy. So if you don't have enough energy to divide school and classes and stuff like that with trying to build your brand and investing in your brand, I would just personally say focus on what's more important to you in your life in that instant. If school is more important to you, then definitely focus on that. I'm not knocking school or anything like that at all, but I feel like everyone knows what steps they should take in their career. You shouldn't be held back by what everyone wants you to do, or if you feel like this is the right thing for you to do at this moment. I just feel like that's what you should do. So, next question, perception. This one really wasn't like specific, it just says talk about perception. Ego. I could talk about ego. So ego is something that's really like deep to me. I learned that ego is a lot deeper than what the surface meaning is. A lot of people hear the word ego and they think of, oh, you're egotistical, you're materialistic or stuff like that. But ego is like a lot deeper than that if you really sit back and think about it. Anything that you're attached to is your ego. Anything that you have an expectancy towards is your ego, because if you think about it, no one on this earth really owes us anything. The best we can hope to get from people is mutual respect and understanding, to be honest. People don't even owe you love. They just owe you at least respect and understanding. Ego is anything that you have an expectancy towards, and I have a very expecting personality from being spoiled growing up, honestly. I lived in my ego a lot and I didn't even realize it. But you have to come across people who are similar to your flaws for you to actually open your eyes and realize that these are your flaws. I came in contact with other people that were like very egotistical, and I'm literally seeing myself through them and seeing exactly what I do not want to be like. It forced me to change. It forced me to look within myself and find out what my ego is and how exactly to remove my ego. So that's been a very rough journey for me. I've been progressing. I've learned how to remove my ego in a lot of instances. A lot of stuff used to bother me. A lot of stuff used to get to me, just small stuff. When I've learned how to remove my ego, it's just like, this stuff really does not touch me. It just doesn't touch me. I don't have an expectancy for certain things and certain people anymore like I used to. That's my perception on that. That's my advice that I would give people, to try to just remove your ego in a lot of situations and things will change. Things will definitely be different. You will not be affected the same way that you were affected before by certain things, because you just don't expect anything. So that's my comment on perception. Next question, astrology. My last episode was featuring my friend Space. That was about astrology. He's really dope at this astrology thing. He can tell you pretty much anything about your sign and your natal chart, stuff like that. So if you guys want to find out more about astrology, feel free to click on my last episode 3. I'm an Aquarius. If you guys missed that last time, my birthday is February 17th. It's coming up. I'm in the process of trying to plan my birthday trip and make my birthday plans and stuff like that. I don't want to think too much about it. I want everything to kind of like fall into place, because when I think too much is when things start messing up. So as far as astrology goes, yeah. The next question, my travel experiences. I love to travel, obviously. I've been traveling a lot with my family since I was a kid, so that's what kind of got me into traveling, I guess. My career started to really take a turn when I started to get booked for shoots and events out of state. In state, getting booked for photo shoots and events is one thing, but when you know that people from across the globe value your work enough to be able to fly you to them to get your work, that's like a whole nother level, and it's like a whole nother realization in your head. Oh, okay. You feel me? This is real. You're international at this point. So traveling is very important to me, and a very important aspect as a photographer to travel, because everything is networking, especially when you're an entrepreneur and you're doing freelance work. You have to learn how to network as much as you can and learn how to basically use your resources, use these connections that you make in these different places to benefit you in the future. That's something I'm very big on. If you guys have followed me on social media, you follow my journeys, you've seen me in New York Fashion Week, you've seen me shooting in LA before, you've seen me pretty much all over the United States. I definitely want to travel more. I have a list of places that I want to go. I really want to go to Egypt. I really want to go to Afghanistan. Like I have so many things that I have planned that I am going to accomplish before I'm 30 years old. So that's exciting. Next question, what type of person do I look for when I do photo shoots? When I do photo shoots, I look for people that are unique. I look for people that you don't see every day necessarily. When I first started off, I was looking for pretty faces, just a pretty face, someone who just looks nice. In all my work, it really was purposeless. It didn't have much of a purpose, honestly. And it kind of shifted one day when I was in college. I was in a critique. I had posted like some good work of this fine girl that I found. And my teacher was just like, well, what's the point? He literally called out my work in the middle of the whole class and was like, what makes your pictures different? What distinguishes your pictures from just a pretty picture? It's like, I was a little hurt. And ever since he said those exact words, that whole just a pretty picture thing was like stuck in my head, literally. Ever since that day, I started thinking so hard, like, damn, like what can I put in this photo shoot to make it more than just a pretty picture? My brain kind of marinated on that for a couple years and developed into a whole nother eye. Like I have a whole different eye of people that I seek when I do photo shoots. If you're different, if you have unique features or something that you just don't see every day, that's something that I would probably be looking for. A lot of people come to me for their first photo shoot, or a lot of people are inexperienced, and I specialize in working with them, helping them basically model management. And I'm not an actual manager. I don't want to claim that title yet, but I have managed a couple of models over the years and helped them out with everything. For example, while shooting with me, I like motion. This is something that I tell my models. I like when people move around. I don't like a model who's like stiff. And a lot of people think you have to be really still and posing when you shoot. And I'm not gonna say that you're wrong for posing, because there's no wrong and right in modeling and photography. Everything is free art expression. Me personally, I like motion. I like to catch you in motion. I like off guards. I don't want you to be posed up, because then you're thinking too much about it, and I feel like you can sense that vibe in the actual photo shoot. So future references, if anyone shoots with me, just keep that in mind. I like motion, and I feel like the pictures are way more real that way. I feel like the pictures come out a lot more authentic when you're actually in the movement. You know what I'm saying? So next question, relationship experience and advice. Relationship. I used to be really big on relationships. You know, I used to be very romantic. I was all lovey-dovey, stuff like that. I don't have the same views towards relationships as I did a couple years ago. Obviously, your views change as you mature. I view relationships as a equal partnership. People who can contribute to help each other get to the next level by any means necessary. There should not be one party giving more energy than the other. Be truthful to each other, honest and authentic with each other as much as possible, or else it won't work. And I say this because for you to accomplish real love in a real relationship, I think everything has to be put out on the table. All honesty, things that you feel ashamed about, things that you're embarrassed about, it all has to be put on the table, because at the end of the day, if those things are hidden or not presented, it's not real and it's not as authentic as you want it to be. The significance of all of that stuff that you confide in this person would make it all that much more special, because this is not something that you tell everyone or share with everyone. So I definitely value honesty, and I definitely value respect in relationships. I'm really big on respect. My advice is just to find yourself before you try to find others, because you can't find other people if you haven't found yourself yet, obviously. And when I say find yourself, really truthfully find yourself and find out what makes you comfortable, what makes you you, what makes you thrive. Do not try to conform or change yourself into a person so that you can fit someone else's standards or someone else's life. Because at the end of the day, that's not you, and you're gonna have to hold up that act forever, and it's gonna drive you crazy for as long as you wanna be with that person. So I would definitely say, if there's anything you have to sugarcoat, anything you have to hide or feel ashamed for, you probably are not looking in the right place for your significant other. They might be fun for the moment, don't get me wrong. Y'all can have y'all fun, you feel me? But that probably isn't someone that you're gonna fall deeply in love with. Next question, how I built my brand at such a young age. I hate to admit it, but I've been like super spoiled, and I've never pictured myself with a job ever. Like when I hear the word job, it's just like, what? I've never really been the type. I didn't even really like doing chores growing up, because I just felt like somebody else needed to do it. That's always, I've had that expecting personality. So I always knew growing up that whatever I ended up doing, I needed to be making my own decisions, because I'm not gonna listen to nobody else. That was like the very first thought. I'm thinking like, oh, I have to be my own boss. I wasn't really thinking that photography would be my career, but I knew that I was like good at it. I knew it was fun, it was a hobby. I got a scholarship for it, and I started going to college for it. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm a photographer now. I'm getting paid for it at this point. Now I realize that I'm money. Literally, like I'm walking money. I have the ability to produce artwork that profits me. And once I found that out, a job was really never ever in the question. I actually do sometimes want a job so I can actually balance out my time. I'm really bad with time management. I have bad self-discipline when it comes to time management. If I had a job, I feel like that would kind of regulate my schedule a little bit more. I started branding myself so that I could be my own boss pretty much. That's how it started. Next question. Have you ever thought about taking in aspiring photographers to show them the ropes as far as getting good pictures and editing? Kind of like an internship. I have thought about doing an internship, actually. The thing is, I just don't want to be super unqualified trying to call myself a teacher. You feel me? I feel like I have to like know certain things first and like be an expert before I want to go and teach someone else or be able to call myself a teacher. But I'm definitely open to, you know, internships and people working under me, and I can teach people like a lot of different things. I'm totally open to that. So if you guys are interested, hit me up. Next question. Where do I get all my clothes from? Like all of everything. Don't be leaving no secrets out. Where do I shop? It's really not about clothes. This is what I want to express to y'all. It's really like not about name brand and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people get like swag and style confused with name brand. If y'all see what I be rocking my own stuff. Like I be rocking Asian Zeus apparel, I be rocking Zara, I rock Forever 21. Like swag is what you put together. You feel me? You either got it or you don't. I'm not even gonna sound corny and cliche and say be comfortable, because fashion is not comfortable sometimes. Step outside your box. If you think everybody else is gonna like wear this, if you're gonna see other people in it, that's probably something that I would not go for. Like when I go shopping, it has to literally jump off the rack into my arms for me to actually purchase it. It has to be something that really catches my eye and something that I feel like I haven't seen anyone else wearing. So that's like my fashion thing. Be you, Zeus vibes. Next question. Name one quality about yourself that you've been trying to work on, but you have not managed to get too far with. I feel like I'm pretty perfect as a person, and I really don't have any flaws, honestly. No, I'm just kidding. No, smoking is one thing, but something deeper is my patience. I am the most impatient person in the world. It's like patience is non-existent to me. And really, I'm working on that every day, because patience is a virtue. And I can't be fulfilled as a good spiritual being if I did not master patience. Patience is very important to me, and I really try. I really try. I be driving on the side skirts of the expressway because I don't have patience to sit in traffic. Like, it's really bad. It get me in a lot of trouble. But patience is definitely a quality that I've been working on that I'm still progressing with today. So I'm gonna just say that. Next question, talk more about my photography, my videography, stuff like that. I really haven't been advertising it on here as much now that I think about it. If you guys want to check out more of my work, my website is www.zeusviews.com. I do videos, I do photos, I do pretty much like a really large category of things. I specialize in conceptual work, if you guys didn't know that. I do weddings, proms. My personal Instagram is AsianZeus_, and my photography Instagram is zeus.views. You can check out some of my work on Instagram, or you can go to my actual website if you want to see more in-depth projects, pictures, concepts, stuff like that. This is Asian Zeus apparel. This is my I Am Love collection from last year. My latest collection, the Zeus Vibes collection. It started out because I really wanted to just like rock my own clothes. I just wanted to do my own thing, and then I posted a picture like in one of my shirts, and everybody's like, I really want that. Like, how much is that? So I'm just like, oh damn, I gotta make a business now. Like, I have to make t-shirts because people want this stuff. So that's how my clothing line started. Everything that you guys have seen me wear on Zeus Views has been designed and made by me. It's available for purchase, so you can go to my website for purchases, or you can contact me directly. Definitely something that I want to keep up with. I'm not like a designer or anything like that, but I'll definitely be open to collabing with designers, even other stuff. Like, I have something coming out in February for you guys that's gonna be dope. And I don't want to speak too much about it yet until that episode comes along, and I'm gonna make announcements, but I'm gonna wrap it up and talk about prioritizing, which I think is very important. I used to stop myself from doing a lot of things because I felt like I didn't want to do too much at once. You know, when you like get on social media and it's those people who's like doing 8 things. They're a designer, they do hair, they do photography, they do video, and it's just they doing a lot, but then you never really see much of outcomes for them. I never really wanted to like be that person who just didn't produce quality. I didn't want to put my name on a lot of different accolades unless I really put my all into them. So I claim being a photographer, I claim my clothing line, and I claim modeling. I guess I could claim modeling now at this point, but I don't want to call myself like a modeling manager or a teacher. I don't want to claim things that I'm not officially certified as. Back to prioritizing. I had to prioritize exactly what I wanted to do. I had to map it out and actually have a plan for it, and I had to be very realistic with myself. Like, because I want to do like a lot of things, but some things just really aren't my lane. Even though that I enjoy doing the things, it's just not my lane. And I don't want to step into a lane if I'm not going to be the best in it. So that's what I take into consideration when I think about prioritizing. I think about how much energy I can put into something and if I'm going to execute it correctly and with quality. So anything that you guys want to do or anything that you guys want to pursue, make sure you have enough energy to execute it correctly, and it's good quality, and make sure that you're passionate about it, because once again, if you're not passionate about something you're doing, it shows. It's obvious, and that has a lot to do with who vibes with you, that has a lot to do with who books you. So that's pretty much it for the Q&A. Thank you guys for tuning in to Zeus Views. I really appreciate it, and you guys can check out my website if you want to check out more of my work. I'm signing out.